guys, so let's finish up question 10 from January 2019, paper 2. So we're on part B. OABC is a parallelogram. X is the midpoint of AB and Y is the midpoint of BC. OA is equal to R and OC is equal to S. So part 1 for 3 marks, complete the diagram below to represent all the information given above. So if OABC is a parallelogram, we already have points O and A. So we continue labeling the points in a clockwise direction. So after O and A, so we have points B and C. Now, they told us that X is the midpoint of AB. So if this is AB here, the midpoint will be halfway. So let's put in point X approximately here. And Y is the midpoint of BC. So Y will be approximately here. Okay, next, they told us that OA is equal to R. So OA is equal to vector R. And OC is equal to vector S. Okay, so we've put in all the information that they gave us. So, part 2, given that OX plus OY is equal to K times R plus S, where K is a constant, using a vector method, find the value of K. Okay, so this is worth 3 marks. Okay, so they told us that OX plus OY is equal to K by R plus S. So that means we have to get the sum of vector OX and OY in terms of R and S. So let's get OX first. Okay, so if this is vector OX, let's use this triangle OAX in order to find OX. Now, since X is a midpoint of AB and since this is a parallelogram, the vectors would be parallel and equal to each other on opposite sides of the parallelogram. So if this is vector S, OC is vector S, then AB would also be vector S, and therefore AX would be half of AB. Alright, so let's write down a statement for vector OX. So OX is equal to OA plus AX. Alright, so we know that AX is a half of AB. Alright, so OA is R and a half of AB. Remember we said AB is parallel to OC, so therefore AB is equal to S. So a half S. Alright, so therefore OX is R plus a half S. So let's find an expression for OY now. Okay, so let's use this triangle OCY in order to find vector OY. Now, they also told us that Y is the midpoint of BC. So if OA and BC or CB are parallel, then if OA is R, then CB is also R, and CY would therefore be a half of CB. Okay, so therefore OY now is equal to OC plus CY if we follow the direction of the arrows, right? So OC plus CY will give OY. So OC is equal to vector S, and CY will be a half of CB, which is a half of R. Okay, so that's OY. So now we need to find the sum of vector OX and OY. Alright, so let's add them together. So OX plus OY, if we add R plus a half S, plus s plus a half r. Right, if we add the like terms together, so 1r plus a half r will be 1.5 r, and a half s plus 1s will be 1.5 s. So we notice that 1.5 is a common factor, which I can actually factorize out of the expression. So I get 1.5 times r plus s. So remember from the beginning, they asked us to express it in this form, or they gave us that OX plus OY is equal to K times R plus S. So since we have written it in this form, we can see that therefore K is equal to 1.5. Yeah, so that's your 3 marks.